Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the class. We are doing the chapter Women, Castes, and Reforms. And under this chapter, we have seen that changes started to occur in the second half of the uh, 19th century. And we have seen that the girls begin going to school. Girl education was started. Many girls' schools were set up, and still we find that it was not easy, or it was not accepted widely that the girls should go in the school in order to get education. So at that time what happened, that most of the girls and women got education in their house only. And the same thing was happening in a Hindu family as well as in the Muslim family. Okay, and now we see कि the next step is, the first step is कि there was demand for gender equality, there was demand for girls and women education, and then these schools were set up. The second stage is then the women were being taught in the house only. Uh, then when their husband is liberal, when their father is liberal, so in that situation, in that type of condition, they were getting education in the house only. And now we see that the women started writing about women. So because there was a group of women, there emerged a group of women which was educated, and this group of women wanted to spread this uh, thought. They wanted to spread their own thought regarding the gender equality, regarding the prevailing condition of the society in which gender discrimination was prevailing. So the women started writing about women. Okay, so now today we will focus on this and some other topics also. Women women writing about women. So what we find that this some Muslim women like Begums of Bhopal. Begums of Bhopal, they played a very important role in promoting education among women from early 20th century. And they founded, for the purpose of spreading of education, they founded a primary school only for girls at Aligarh. And likewise there was another woman, Begum Rokia Sekhawat Hussain. She also started schools for Muslim girls in Patna and Calcutta. Begum Rokia Begum Rokia Begum Rokia Sekhawat Hussain. Okay, and we see that these women, they were highly critical of the ideas, conservative ideas, the ideas which focuses on conserving the tradition. They are against change. So as I told you earlier also, the conservative people were not liking all these changes. Okay, and we see that there were women who 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 openly came against these conservative ideas. They argued that religious leaders of every faith, be it Hinduism or Islam, in every faith there was an inferior place was given to women by the religious leaders, and they now wanted to change it. Okay, and we see that by 1880s, in the later part of the 19th century, we find that the Indian women, some of the Indian women, started to enter universities also, because now they were educated, and in order to get higher education they were entering into universities also. And not only this, some of them trained to be doctors, some of them became teachers. So in this way बहुत ही स्मॉल स्केल पे हो रहा था, बट चेंजेस हो रहे थे, है ना. एंड इन दिस वी ऑल्सो फाइंड दैट देयर वर मेनी वुमेन हु स्टार्टेड टू write and publish their views about the status of women in society. That is very important. Books are very important source of changing the society, because when someone reads a book, it forms your outlook, it changes your outlook, and everything depends on our outlook, everything depends on our mindset, you know. So this mindset is very much dependent on what we study. So these kind of books were started to be written down by the women writers only, like Tarabai Shinde. And Tarabai Shinde, she was a woman educated at home at Pune. She published a book, Stri Purush Tulna. These names are important because in MCQs it may come, है ना. तो आपको नाम याद होना चाहिए, कौन किस पर्टिकुलर किसने क्या किया, कहाँ पे किया, है ना. So now we are seeing this Tarabai Shinde. Tarabai Shinde, she wrote a book about women, Stri Purush Tulna. Okay, or as the name suggests, in this book what is done, the comparison between the man and the woman, है ना. So in this she criticized the social differences between men and women, and likewise there was another name, Pandita Ramabai. Okay, ताराबाई शिंदे की तरह ही एक और ये थी पंडिता Pandita Ramabai. She was a great scholar of Sanskrit language, and her opinion was that in Hinduism there is oppression of women, there is suppression of women, and about all these things she also wrote a book, how miserable condition was persisting in the upper caste, in the lives of upper caste Hindu women. So her focus was upper caste Hindu women, the miserable lives of the upper caste Hindu women. And not only this, she also founded a widow's home at Pune, and this was really important because widows home, it provided shelter to widows, because in our society, not only that time, even today we find, अभी उस समय बहुत ज़्यादा था, at that time the degree of oppression and suppression was very high, but still the problem but even today the problem is existing, बट उस समय बहुत ज़्यादा था, तो विडोज़ के लिए एक उनको शेल्टर देने के लिए उन्होंने एक फाउंडेशन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बनाया. Then not only this, she also trained women, gave some training, so that some skills can be developed, and through these skills they can earn their livelihood on their own. This is a very, we can say she was very much ahead of time. वो अपने समय से बहुत आगे थी, और ये बिल्कुल भी जिसको कहेंगे बहुत ही सही काम उन्होंने किया था अपने जो अपने कम्युनिटी के जो पीपल थे उनके लिए, है ना. सो but what we see that all these happenings, all these changes were not liked by the conservative people, the orthodox people, है ना. Many Hindu nationalists felt that women were adopting Western ways, and that they would corrupt Hindu culture, erode family values. They were not happy with these changes, and in their opinion, they are nationalist, है ना. So in their opinion, all these are happening because of the British rule, because British rule is facilitating all these things. Because of British rule, all these changes are coming in the society, है ना. The Hindu women will no longer accept the tradition and values of the family and society, and thus the everything will be changed, and they were not liking it. Not only in Hindu leaders, but Muslim leaders, Muslim Orthodox Muslims, they were also not liking all these things. These changes should not occur. The women should remain inside the house. There is no need of giving education to them. So they were not liking in Hinduism as well as in Islam. There were people, there were nationalist people जो अपने आप को राष्ट्रवादी कहते हैं. They were not liking it. Okay, and we see that when there was end of 19th century, by the end of 19th century, many women were actively working for reform in the society. They wrote books, magazines, they founded schools, training center, they set up women association. So in this way we see that changes were occurring. And not only this, from early 20th century they also formed political pressure groups. Pressure groups are we can say it's an organization which puts pressure on the government, so that the government should take decisions according to the interest of this particular group. If there is a women pressure group, so this women pressure group will pressurize the government to adopt such policies, to enact such laws which promote the interest of the woman. So in this way, in the early 20th century, women pressure groups were also formed, and the main demand of this women's pressure group was to get right to vote, because at that time the women were not given right to vote. Though all men were also not given right to vote, it was very much limited, but the demand started in the early 20th century only, that there should be female suffrage, right to vote. And they also demanded better health care, they also demanded education for women. So not only this, now women were also taking part in the nationalist movement, the movement which was aimed at removing the British rule from India, the nationalist movement. They also joined these movements also from 1920s when Gandhi came, and Gandhi started mass movement like 1921 non-cooperation movement was there. So in you will study about all these in the later chapters. Then you will see that women also started to participate in all these activities, and we find that some of the important leaders of our freedom struggle, like Pandit Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, they were of the opinion that there should be equality in the society, the women must be given freedom. So they supported all these demands of the women organization, and they also promised that when India will become independence, they will give full suffrage for all men and women. There will not be any kind of discrimination in giving this right to vote to the people of the citizens of the country. So now we see that this cause of women was getting support from the nationalist leaders like Pandit Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose, and they also asked women to concentrate on anti-British struggle. They wanted the cooperation from women, and for that purpose they asked for that they should focus on the anti-British struggle. And we see that the British were also supporting this cause of women, because they were also against some barbaric practices which were prevalent at that time. Like we have seen, sati practice was banned in 1829. Then in 1856 video remarriage was got permission, and likewise in 1929 this child marriage restraint act was passed, according to which the minimum age of marriage was fixed, like man below the age of 18 and woman below the age of 16 could not marry, है ना. So this was also an important development, child marriage restraint act. So we have completed one section of this chapter. Now we will move forward, and we will see the condition of what type of caste inequality was prevailing in the society, and how changes started to occur regarding this caste inequalities. So as we have discussed earlier also, in our society that this caste inequality was prevailing. The people were divided into upper caste and lower caste, and the people belonging to lower caste were subject to ill treatment and suppression and oppression. And in this when education started to spread in our country, some intellectuals started to feel that this kind of condition is not good. They opposed this inequality, and in this Ram Mohan Rai was also vocal about this caste inequality, and for that purpose only he translated an old Buddhist text which was critical of caste. Because in Buddhism, as if you remember, Buddhism started, the new idea of Buddhism started only because of the prevailing condition of the society. So Buddhism does not believe in inequality in Varna system, in that some people belong to lower caste and some people belong to upper caste. So in order to support his views, Raja Ram Mohan Rai translated this old Buddhist text. Not only this, there were other organizations as well, like Pratna Samaj. Pratna Samaj also revived this tradition of bhakti. Bhakti, you have read about bhakti also in class 6, जिसमें आपको ये बताया गया था कि at that time how inequality was prevailing in the society in this later Vedic period, and because of this inequality there was dissatisfaction among the people. The people were not satisfied with the ongoing condition of religion and society, and that is why this bhakti movement was started, in which there was equality. There was it was based on the concept of equality. There is no need of any other person between the devotee and the devoted. There should be direct relationship between the devotee and the devoted. भक्त और भगवान के बीच में direct relation को ये emphasize करते हैं. There is no need of brahmins and priests and all. You can worship God without temple, है ना. तो ये इक्वालिटी पर बेस्ड ये चीज़ों को फिर से सामने लाया गया. लाइक प्रार्थना समाज ने इसको भक्ति के ट्रेडिशन को फिर से सामने लाया. इसी तरह से बॉम्बे उस समय जो था परमहंस मंडली थी. दिस परमहंस मंडली वाज फाउंडेड इन 1840 एंड दैट वाज आल्सो वर्किंग फॉर द abolition, for the end of this caste system. So these reformers about which we are talking about, like Raja Ram Mohan Rai, Pratna Samaj, then Paramhans Mandli, at that time these people they belonged to upper caste. The people in these organizations were mostly from upper caste. Why? Because only the upper caste people were getting education at that time, because the people belonging to lower caste were not allowed to enter the school. So when the upper caste people started to get education, they found, some of them, not all, some of them found that the inequality, caste inequality which was prevailing in the society is not just. It is highly objectionable condition which was prevailing in our society. So they raised their voice. They came forward for caste equality. They came forward to remove these caste inequalities, and for that purpose secret meetings were organized. In these secret meetings, these reformers, they violated the restrictions of caste, like you should not touch with the lower caste people, you should not eat with the lower caste people. They violated all these taboos, because they wanted that their society should be free of all these caste prejudices. So this is all for today. We will continue with this in the next class.